everyone, and welcome to Gruff Talk, where each week we take a deep dive into all the ways we can feel better, look better, live better, and age better. Before we dive in, just a quick reminder that you can subscribe to Gruff Talk wherever you listen to podcasts, including right on my website, barbarahannahgrufferman.com. And if you have questions for me or suggestions for topics you want to see talked about on the show, just email me at grufftalkpodcast@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you. A podcast listener recently emailed asking for tips on how to make new and healthy habits really stick. I thought that was a great topic for an episode of Gruff Talk because life can really impose itself on us every single day, causing good intentions and healthy habits to be thrown right out the window. So based on that question, here's what we're going to talk about today: how you can make all those good habits really stick with just a few small steps. I'm your host, Barbara Hannah Grufferman. Speaking of habits, I definitely have a marathon habit, which is crazy, I know, but I love those medals. If you follow me on social media, you probably already know that I'm training to run in the 2022 New York City Marathon, which is in early November. And I'll be doing updates on how my training is going, starting with right now. Well, it's going okay. It's summer, which means it's hot and sticky in New York City and really just about everywhere. And if you listen to the recent episode with Jeff Galloway, who created the Run, Walk, Run program so that anyone can start running, and that's how I started, even run a marathon. That's how I ran my first marathon and all my marathons. You will have heard that I started running when I turned 50 to get back on track with my health and lose those postmenopausal pounds. And before I knew it, I was running my first marathon. This one in November will be my 15th. That is crazy. I know. When I was 49, if I had said, I'm going to be running 15 marathons someday, who knows, maybe more, I would have said, no, that's crazy. Anyway, during the episode with Jeff, which you really should listen to if you haven't already done so, he said, you have to have a strategy. Anyone who wants to start running has to have a strategy. And my strategy is to keep to my running schedule, rain or shine, which includes 2 to 3 runs during the week, not so long, like maybe 4, 5, or 6 miles, and one increasingly long run on the weekends. The next long run is going to be 12 miles, and I'll give you a report on how it went next week. But I would not be running at all, nor would I have stuck with all the other healthy habits I started when I turned 50 if I had not made my health and well-being the priority and followed these 10 small steps. They really worked for me, and I think they will work for you too. So here goes, my 10 small steps to make those healthy habits stick. Number 1, remember the rewards. It's a lot easier to stay motivated if you remember why you're doing something in the first place, right? For instance, if you're starting a new exercise program, make a point of noticing how you feel after working out and remind yourself of the specific benefits you're looking for. What are you after here, both short-term and long-term? I always think about how great my skin looks after I've gotten some exercise or gone for a long run. That's the immediate reward. And then how much stronger I'm going to be down the road. That's the long-term reward. Number 2, take baby steps. Going whole hog sounds tempting when you want to change your whole life, but it can really be overwhelming for most of us, causing us to stop before we've even started. And that happens to most people. Don't think, well, if I can't do it all, I won't do anything at all. Not a good idea. The small step solution really will get you there. Just choose 1 or 2 specific actions that will improve your life. For instance, 20 push-ups or 2 or more veggies a day, and do it consistently and regularly. Once you feel you've got that close to autopilot, choose 1 or 2 more to add to the mix and just keep going. Number 3, let one lead the way. When I chose to run and made it a regular habit, it triggered other changes over time. I started to sleep better, I ate healthier foods, and I turned to specific exercises to become stronger. One healthy habit linked to another until they all started to work in tandem. But I started with just that one. Number 4, make a public commitment. Tell everybody if you want to make a change in your life, let people know. Lots of people, unless your daughter does it for you, like mine did. My mom's going to run the marathon. Post it on Facebook or announce it at a dinner party. Once it's out there, it's much harder to go back. It's a mind game that you can play with yourself and always win. Number 5, give it 3 months or 90 days if that sounds better to you, whichever one you choose. The only way an action can truly become a habit is when it's done regularly and consistently for however long it takes to insinuate itself into your life. For most people, that's about 3 months. Sure, you can start to feel attached to an action in a few weeks, but the risk of giving up is much greater early on. So stay with it, and the payback will be a new habit, hopefully for life. Number 6, plan on it. I insert every single thing I want to do into my Google Calendar. Use whichever one you want, but use a calendar, which then gets shared on all of my devices, my phone, my tablet, my computers, and even doing this has become a habit. Don't leave exercising, going to bed at 10 p.m., or shopping at the farmer's market for healthy veggies up to chance. Plan it, schedule it, and if it involves other people, like a running buddy perhaps, send them a calendar invite too. And be specific. Monday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., go for a run. Number 7, set yourself up for success. If you place your sneakers on the floor, this is a tip so many people use. If you place your sneakers on the floor next to your bed the night before a workout, you'll be more apt to put them on. Keep the floss next to your toothbrush. Add good healthy foods to your pantry, cabinet, and fridge, and remove as many of the wasted calories, not such good foods for you as you can. The more you stack the deck in your favor, the better your odds of winning. Number 8, compare and contrast. I never used to weigh myself. No. But once I decided to commit to my newfound healthy life, I bought a simple scale and now weigh myself most days. It's a handy tool to track my progress and to see quick proof of what happens if I stop making good choices. And it's like really shocking at this age how quickly things can turn around. Recording what you eat in a journal is proven to help create a commitment to healthy eating. And it's always motivating to compare your before healthy habits to your after healthy habits with photos and journals to help you see clear evidence of the changes that you've made. Number 9, set a goal. Maybe you dream of running your first 5K or a 10K or who knows, a marathon, or you want to cook a week's meals entirely from scratch. Whatever it is, having a clear goal in mind can be a powerful motivator to get you to create a life of healthy habits. For me, it all started with my daughter wanting to see me run in the New York City Marathon, and then the magic kicked in. After this short break, I'll reveal number 10, which is the most important habit of them all. Okay, we're back. We've covered some great steps we can all take to make sure our healthy habits stick, but I left the best one for last because it's that important. So what is number 10? The drum roll, please. It's the one habit to rule them all. For First, let's talk about what is a habit anyway? The defining characteristic of a habit is that it's almost completely involuntary. It's a thought or an action so ingrained in your psyche and life that you don't even think about it, right? Most days we get up, go to the bathroom, splash water on our faces, plod into the kitchen, switch on the coffee maker, check our email, maybe do Wordle, turn on the morning news, and so on. Some of us can make it a solid hour or two into our day without making a single conscious choice. However, you can be sure that no matter how mindless it is, every one of those routine actions is shaping your life today and far into the future. For instance, every time your daily commute takes you to the drive-thru from Macchiato, you're adding as many as 350 extra calories into your day out of your daily recommended allocation of about 1,800, which means you'll have a hard time maintaining your weight, very possibly. You're also getting way too much sugar. So that's not a great habit, right? Every choice you make has consequences, even the ones that are so habitual they don't even seem like choices anymore. It's just that it's so easy to keep coasting on autopilot, right? But the small steps you take now will have a huge impact on your body and life almost instantly and down the road as well. But good habits don't just happen. You got to follow those steps I just talked about, but they take some knowledge about the consequences of your actions, which leads to understanding how the choices you make affect overall happiness and well-being. This will then lead, I hope, to a desire to change your behavior. Then comes a commitment, which then can become a plan, which becomes an action, which eventually becomes, ta-da, a habit. It all may sound like a lot of work, but having followed the path of healthy habits for a few years now, I can honestly say that once the benefits start to add up and build their own momentum, it's pretty easy to continue. Now that I've trained myself as always to slap on sunscreen before makeup, for example, my skin really does look better and I know I'm protecting it, and that encourages me to keep doing it. Now that I reward myself with a small square of heart-healthy dark chocolate every night, I no longer crave sweet, empty calories, which helps me keep my extra pounds off. And now that I do about 20 push-ups each morning before breakfast and a few throughout the day, my arms are leaner and stronger, and I feel like I can hold up the whole world. But even with the benefits so clear in our minds and bodies, the many demands of life can still interfere with our commitment to maintaining our well-intentioned ways. Totally get that. How do I know? Oh, trust me, I know. I really know. Within a few years of running my first marathon, and just as I was really hitting my stride with a whole new life of healthy habits that I was writing about and talking about, both my mother and mother-in-law developed very complicated and serious health issues. There were appointments to be made, shopping to be done, bills to be paid, and that was just for them. I still had my business to run, articles to write, my own household to manage with one daughter starting college and another in high school. And oh yes, a husband with an equally demanding career who needed a little TLC once in a while too. And did I mention a rescue dog? With all that going on, and then some, sleep, exercise, and healthy home-cooked meals started to seem like indulgences I just couldn't afford. One by one, my carefully constructed routines collapsed. After a while, my posture was sagging, my clothes were squeezing, and I barely had enough energy to take care of anyone else, let alone myself. Push-ups? No. Running? Are you kidding? Sleep? What's that? I was starting to feel and look 10 years older than I was. But then I remembered something the ageless fashion designer Diane von Furstenberg once told me when I interviewed her. Barbara, she said, I love my husband, kids, grandkids, love them unconditionally, but I love myself even more. Does that sound selfish? Well, it isn't. It's smart. She was right, of course. People may be depending on you, but if you're not in good mental and physical shape, you won't be much use to anyone. And that's when I realized there really is one habit that rules them all: the habit of self-love. Self-love. The simple act of treating ourselves as the glorious creatures we are is the golden ticket to a happy, healthy life, regardless of what else is going on. It's the first step to every positive life change, the one habit that can corral all the others back into service, the habit that is always inside you, the one that doesn't depend on a schedule or an income or a recipe, the one you can count on when all the others skitter away. If you develop and nourish the habit of self-love, you will always have a powerful tool to put yourself back on track, at the head of the line and in control. Because if you are the priority, your choices will reflect that. So, with Diane von Furstenberg's words in mind, I brought my sorely neglected habits into life once again. When I laced up my formerly beloved running shoes, I felt stronger and happier almost immediately. Then it was just one small step after another until I was back on track. I know there will be other phases in my life when I will struggle to maintain my healthy routines. It happened not long ago when my mother passed away, and for the many months before she passed away. And it will probably happen to you too. Life is filled with bumps and twists that we can't see coming. But if you practice the habit of self-love each and every day, it will grow stronger and will always be ready to lead the way back to the life you want to be living. All you need is to love yourself enough to honestly evaluate the habits you have now. Keep the ones that bring you health, stamina, energy, confidence, and joy, and change the ones that don't. And if you make less than helpful choices, sometimes don't beat yourself up. It's okay. Just summon the one habit that rules them all: self-love, and take a single small step in the only direction you want to go: forward. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you enjoyed this episode of Gruff Talk, please do two things. First, share it with all your friends and family, and subscribe to Gruff Talk wherever you listen to podcasts, including YouTube, so you never miss a single episode. Until next time, remember this: we can't control getting older, but we can control how we do it. Talk to you soon. Age Better Podcast is a proud member of the Sound Advice Network. Sound Advice, women's voices amplified.